Thank you, Rose. I'm just moved to tears. The last 2 days of this event has really moved me to the core. And listening to Gary and Raghav, they were just speaking my language. Anybody that knows me, this is the place that I come from. I just want to say some acknowledgements. The reason I'm here is because of Rose. I had a conversation with her. I met her at the AJC school that I've done twice. Ankush is my coach. Thank you, Ankush. And we had a conversation and she said, "Have you thought about speaking there?" I was like, "No." And she said, "We need to hear your voice." So thank you, Rose, for championing me. Okay. I want to acknowledge my coach, Ankush, sending me texts this morning, giving me hugs. I've been in quite a gentle place with myself in the last month or two, really taking care of my well-being and my energy. You know, as people that, there's many, many people in here that give a lot to other people. And sometimes we just got to take that space out for ourselves and just give wholeheartedly to ourselves. And that's what I've been doing. And I know that's really important for a lot of people, but especially for us women. All right? We're giving a lot. We're conditioned to give. And my commitment is to myself is to being open to just receiving and being well, all right? Taking care of my energy. That's my commitment. Really putting myself at the center. I do that anyway, but even on a different level now. Because as you expand, you realize you really got to take care of that energy. Yeah. I've been on a journey for the last 2.5 years with my coach, Ankush, and I really want to acknowledge you for encouraging me and for giving me the space that I've needed in the last 2-3 months. So I acknowledge that. And I want to acknowledge every single person in this room. I've spoken to people that I don't know, but they've come up and given me a hug. They've given me a smile. They've just connected with me. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm standing here today speaking into your listening. You're creating me through your listening. I know how important it is when people feel listened to. If all we ever done in the world is to listen to people and to really see them, the world would change. It would just change overnight. I've worked with thousands of people and I know that. All different types of people, from the street to the CEO. And I want to share a story about being this loving presence and bringing a certain type of listening to someone that transforms a situation that could have gone really, really bad. And often people say to me, "I've loved being here because people are talking about their work and how passionate they are about their work and passionate about their families and anything that they do. It doesn't always have to be about their work. But the passion that people have here has really inspired me because it reminded me of that I love my work as well. I don't always feel like I'm working. And there was a time when I used to say to people, "Oh, I'm going to work tomorrow. I love what I do. I'm going into prison." And they'd be like, "What? How can you love what you do?" And I'd be like, We love it. It's not just me, it's the whole team. We love it. And it was so funny because we love being in there, I love being in there, and there's people that can't wait to get out, right? If they're getting out, if they're not on a life sentence. So I'm running and leading and co-facilitating a workshop with a colleague, and it's going really well. It's a group, it's a 10-week group, and we're maybe on the 3rd week. We know some of the guys already in the group, and all of a sudden, someone jumps up. I'm going to call him Steve. Jumps up, straddles out of the room, mumbles something and says, and the door just slams open. And we're just like, God, what happened? I look around at my colleagues, we don't know what's happened. I look at the guys in the room, because some of them will give us a clue. They're like, don't know, miss. So we just carry on. And then at the end of the classroom, now I want to give you a bit of background. This classroom is on a prison wing. So it's where the men live. The cell doors are off this corridor. Okay? We wanted to make sure that we had a classroom that was close to the guys. But this particular day, in the classroom that we use regularly, was on the wing. And there's a telephone, just say where this stand is there. So at the end, I'm standing at the door, just saying bye to the guys as they leave. And I walk outside, and this guy that's walked out starts giving me really bad looks. And I'm like, shit. He's got a problem with me. and he's really like screwing me like this. You know, those kind of looks. So I was like, okay. So I say to my colleague, Gary, he's got a problem with me, I don't know what it is. And they was like, oh, don't worry about him, he'll be all right. So I mentioned it to my other colleagues, and they're saying, no, you know what he's like, he's always throwing a strop. It's like, okay. So my colleagues were a team of about 5, maybe 4 women, and 2 guys, 6. And they're going to LA to a 3 principals conference. And so we said, okay, Gary and I said, well, we'll hold the fort. So fast forward a week later, just myself and Gary, and I'm coming up a prison wing, so I'm gone into the wing, and I'm going up the stairs, and as I'm walking up the staircase, the guy called Steve is walking down the staircase. My heart starts pumping out of my chest. And I look around, and there's no officers around. It's often the case. And as he passes me, under his breath, I heard it, he says, "You black bitch." And luckily this young guy came behind, and he heard. And he said, "What did he say to you, miss?" And I just shrugged it off. I said, "Nothing." And he went, "Are you okay?" And he really looked at me. And I said, "Yeah." Do you know, sometimes, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but if you're a driver or someone that's owned a car before, or been in a family where a car's been owned, and you come out of your house, you know you parked your car outside your house, and then you come out and it ain't there. It's been stolen, it's been nicked, yeah, gone. You know that car was outside your house, but for some reason you start looking around the block for it. But you start walking up, no, maybe I left it up here. Oh no, okay, where did I leave it? You know it was there. And then all of a sudden you come to the realization, yes, it was there. I came to the realization, yes, he did just call me that. Told my colleague, I was like, okay. I said, keep an eye on me, please. All right? Another week passes, still the skeleton team. I'm at the we go down to the blocks. So there's different wings, A, B, C, D, G, J. We're in A wing or C wing or something like that. And I'm downstairs greeting the guys. We've got another workshop following week, and I'm greeting the guys. And he walks past with his trolley. He's on the way to work, and he comes up with this massive trolley that is pushing towards the kitchen. And as he comes out of the wing, that I'm standing at the main gate with some of the officers, he gives me this look again like this. Comes out and he starts looking at me like this. Now, I'll give you a little bit of background on this. This guy's been in my group already, and I know him, and I've never had anything to worry about him. But he's in jail for murder and violent crime. Okay, he's about that tall, yeah? And people are scared of him in the prison. But on the course that we were doing, the transformation that he had already had, he was unrecognizable, to the point where the governor knew something had changed for him. So he walks out of the wing, pushing his trolley, and another staff member notices and says, "Are you okay? You know you can report him for that. That's intimidation. He will lose his privileges. He's not meant to do that, and he knows that." And I said, "I'm frightened. I feel afraid." I didn't tell any of my family members because they would have just got in my head and said, "Don't go back there." Yeah, I just didn't want to be swayed in that way. There was something deep in my soul that knew that I just needed to ride this wave. Do you know, sometimes when you just know that there's something bigger in this for me. Now, if I felt that I was going to be attacked or anything would escalate, obviously, I would trust my instincts to guide me. And I just want to go back to what Gary was talking about, was sometimes we just got to trust that little voice inside of us. Trust it deeply, and I really have learned to trust that. A week passes, I'm in the classroom, just finished a group, the classroom's empty. Gary's speaking to a guy that's just finishing off with a guy. His back's to the door, like this. Steve comes in, he doesn't see Steve pass me. And Steve walks in like this. Remember, he's 6 foot. And I'm just like, oh God. And my heart dropped to the floor. If you could have heard drums, you would have heard them in London. And he says, "Can I have a word?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Jacquie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry." He said, "What I said to you was disgusting, and you didn't deserve that. And I'm so sorry, I just lost it." And in that moment, we just saw each other's humanity. In that moment, love stole the show. Anything is possible when we open our hearts and trust that we are being guided by something bigger than our human selves. Can you imagine the amount of wars and people that would be saved if we could all kind of connect to this? I gave him some grace. But also, when that was going on, I was also in my own personal experience, being aware of every single feeling that was going on for me. I wasn't pushing my feelings away. I was really meeting myself and being really present to what was going on. Like they were speaking about earlier, our feelings can be guidelines, they can be alerts. And strong feelings can be a bit scary sometimes, but our feelings are not telling us most of the time anything about what's really going on. Just they're a reflection of our thinking in the moment, not what is actually going on in the moment. In A Course of Miracles, they say there are only two things happening: love or a call for love. And in this situation, it was a call for love. He thought I was ignoring him in the classroom. He's a popular guy. He'd learnt this understanding he wanted to share, and he was sitting on this side of me. This is not my best side, and I didn't see that he wanted to speak. Now, this does not excuse what he did. It does not excuse what he called me. In another situation, I may have reported him. So this is not a prescription. This is what I did in the moment, trusting my wisdom, my streetwiseness. I navigated that. And I say that because sometimes we can hear things and think, oh, I'll do it just like that. You trust yourself and trust your own intuition and your own body to tell you what's right for you. This was my lesson that I needed to see for myself. What was beautiful about it? This guy had amazing transformations anyway. And he went on, we had amazing transformations with some of my colleagues that he'd worked with prior to that, what had happened. And when he came out, he was speaking on stages to over 1,000 people. Right? Anything is possible. We just don't know. I didn't know that was going to be the outcome. I didn't try to do that. What I did is I surrendered because I didn't even know what to do in that situation. I've never been in that situation before. I had to just let go and just be led. And I trust that I would be. And I trust that I'd be able to handle myself if it did escalate. My topic is about being is who we already are. And I've had a lot of time to kind of explore this. And what I really see is from the moment we're born into human being. We're born into our existence. We're born into existence. As soon as we're born, the time of our birth, we exist as a human being. If you look up the word being in the dictionary, it says existence. Now, I want to ask a question. Do you exist? If you just check in with yourself, do you exist? Yeah. Right? So you're naturally being anyway. It's just part of who we are. And we forget that. And I want to connect this being part because most of the time we're just walking around thinking we're separate human beings in the world. Getting on with our lives, dealing with our challenges, paying our bills, making ends meet, whatever we're dealing with. Illnesses, our own personal insecurities and struggles, all of it is life. And I love that Gary said that his life's not perfect. He's not perfect. There is no one on the planet that is. Let's just get that out of our heads. I used to think that people at a certain level would be chilling, all the time. No. They've still got to go to the toilet and have a shower just like you. Right? So it's really interesting when we remember who we really are, like this, that we, the core of who we are, being, it says in the dictionary, being the nature and essence of a person. We don't need to do being. Being is doing us. We're not in charge of life. Life is doing us. Life is doing me. Life is creating Jacquie Moses speaking on this stage, words coming out of her mouth, tears coming out of her mouth. That is coming through us. What was that, Lindsay? Eyes, sorry, yeah. Tears coming from my eyes. I had 3 hours sleep last night. Tears coming from my eyes. Thank you for the correction. I appreciate it. And so I've been really curious about this, because what it then means is that there's more to who we are than this body that we are walking around in. Much, much more. And every day we overlook it because we haven't been taught it. We haven't been pointed in that direction. We've been pointed over here to achieve and do better and be more. And we're tired. And every single thing that you try and get more of, and you get more money, and you get more this, and you get it all, and it still doesn't make you happy. It does for a while. It does for a while, temporarily. Of course it does, like anything that we get fixated on. But then I'm still left with me. And this part of what I'm talking about, the core of our being, I'm calling it the ground of our being, is enough. It is limitless. It is boundless. It is spacious. It's expansive. It is the source of creation. It got us here today. It woke us up this morning. It creates everything through us. And in my document says, I am divine creation in the human form. I am creation, and I'm using the word divine. You may call it God, you may call it infinite potential, source energy, whatever you call it. When I started to really see this 5 years ago, and more and more and more, that I see it and keep returning to the ground of my being, what I realize is life is carrying me through. Life has got me. It's got my back. And it loves me. So when I mess up like I do, through how much life loves me, it has included me here today. We are included in life today. We woke up and we are part of life. We have been included in this moment. So that's how much life loves me and loves you. And the more that I see that, I realize all the times and all the years for most of my life when I didn't feel good enough yet, I was identifying, I had an identification with an idea of myself that was a lie. Who has ideas about themselves that they know are not really them? Who in this room has felt not good enough or not good enough yet? You've still got loads of stuff to do. Yeah. Okay, great. What I want to say is thank you. keep coming back to the ground of your being, and that means slowing down, being kind and compassionate to the messy life that we have sometimes. And that love that you already are will start to shine through. We all are a light on this planet. A smile can change someone's life. It's changed my life. A stranger's smile has changed my life before. I'm going to end with a song by an artist that I think really can have us be in this feeling of remembering who we really are. Thank you for your listening, and I love you. Thank you.
Things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. Mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. Divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all.